Yeah, hi there. These comments are for JTV, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And you completed some specific lessons at my website. I think it's pronunciation lessons number 8 and number 9. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to number 8 right now. I think you're practicing certain vowel sounds here. Let me go ahead and find the lesson here for just a minute. I think it begins with Stan. Go back to the beginning here. Got it. It's right here. Okay, here we go.
Could not hand in his bad plan. Stan told Dad that he could not hand in his bad plan since it was too poorly organized.
There, the one word is bad, not bod, but bad. His bad plan.
2. A well-written magazine can be the answer for some readers in that it acts as an accomplished sanctuary which helps them to concentrate on those issues that matter most.
Okay, let's try the word concentrate. You're pronouncing concentrate. You're pronouncing that R a little bit too hard, so just concentrate.
3. Fire management offers prescribed burning as a solution so that the habitats within the burned areas do not have a natural wildfire which burns too hard.
And again, the word burns. Burns.
4. Graduate cognitive psychology programs study phenomena and other problems after which practical applications are modeled, some of which are based on many aspects of real life.
In the word modeled, you want to put that stress modeled on that first syllable, not muddled, but modeled.
5. Authorities in Kansas process combatant rations on a farm.
It's authorities in Kansas. It almost sounded like you said cancer there. Authorities in Kansas.
Project designed along with the emergency alert system for the tornado victims.
And there, not tornado, but tornado. Tornado victims. Okay, pretty good. I think you're okay here. So let's go over them one more time. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more practice right now. So I want you to repeat each of the sentences after me. So I want you to also work on your pausing and your pacing a little bit. Okay, so number 1. We have Stan told Dad that he could not hand in his bad plan since it was too poorly organized. 2. A well-written magazine can be the answer for some readers in that it acts as an accomplished sanctuary which helps them to concentrate on those issues that matter most. 3. Fire management offers prescribed burning as a solution so that the habitats within the burn areas do not have a natural wildfire which burns too hot. Now the next one, and it looks like my computer is saving the document right now. Okay, hold on, I think we got it. Okay, number 4. Graduate cognitive psychology programs study phenomena and other problems after which practical applications are modeled, some of which are based on many aspects of real life. Number 5. Authorities in Kansas process competent rations on a farm project designed along with the emergency alert systems for the tornado victims. Okay, so we're okay there. Now let's go to your next voice recording exercise.
Due to the 3 minutes minutes of violent shaking, landslides in Anchorage caused heavy damage. Huge slides occurred in the downtown business section due to the 3 minutes of violent shaking.
It's violent shaking with that V. You're saying more violent shaking, but violent shaking. You need to pronounce the V with more vibration.
Landslides in Anchorage caused heavy damage.
Say damage, damage.
Huge slides occurred in the downtown business section at Government Hill and at Twenagain Heights. The largest and most devastating landslide occurred at Twenagain Heights. An area of about 130 acres was devastated by displacements that broke the ground into many deranged blocks that were collapsed and tilted at all angles. This slide destroyed about 75 private houses. Water mains and gas, sewer, telephone, and electric systems were disrupted throughout the area.
Good job on that tone there. Gas, sewer, telephone, and electrical systems. That was excellent. You made a distinct difference in your tone as you mentioned those items in the series there. Okay, let's read this one more time together. You ready? Due to the 3 minutes of violent shaking, landslides in Anchorage caused heavy damage. Huge slides occurred in the downtown business section at Government Hill and at Turnagain Heights. The largest and most devastating landslide occurred at Turnagain Heights. An area of about 130 acres was devastated by displacements that broke the ground into many deranged blocks that were collapsed and tilted at all angles. This slide destroyed about 75 private houses. Water mains and gas, sewer, telephone, and electrical systems were disrupted throughout the area. Okay, we're good there. Okay, now we're going to lesson number 9. So let's take a look at this one. I'm going to go ahead and download it right now.
A clairvoyant person might allow one to employ another.
Okay, let me go ahead and find this one for a minute. I got it right here. Here we go.
A clairvoyant person might allow one to employ another so as to provide a service that might not destroy the confidence of the client.
Very good on your pausing there. If you can do that in your sermons, I'm telling you, you're going to really be understood very easily. Excellent pausing and phrasing there. Very nice.
2. Politeness comes down to who exploits the power in order to identify what points are made in order to respect another.
Okay, good. Now you still want to work on that tone where you're varying your intonation a little more than you are.
3. The foil and soil brought into the house is described as being silver and brown in color.
Okay.
4. In the South, there are countless trials in which the defendants are finally found guilty because they have violated the rights of another.
Not bad with the V, but still violated the rights of another.
5. The drought brought violence on a town because some made private unlawful choices which accounted for a bout between John and Steve.
Okay. So that's good. So let's go to your paragraph reading here. Actually, one more time. Before I forget, let's practice these one more time. You ready? A clairvoyant person might allow one to employ another so as to provide a service that might not destroy the confidence of the client. 2. Politeness comes down to who exploits the power in order to identify what points are made in order to respect another. 3. The foil and soil brought into the house is described as being silver and brown in color. 4. In the South, there are countless trials in which the defendants are finally found guilty because they have violated the rights of another. 5. The drought brought violence on a town because some made private unlawful choices, which accounted for a bout between John and Steve. Alright, perfect. So let's go to the paragraph reading of this particular exercise.
Until 19...
Okay, let's take a look at it. Got it.
62, it was until 9...
I would say until, not until. It's until. The T is not a D, but a T. So you need to pronounce it like a T consonant. So let's practice. Until. Until. Say this. Tight. Tom. Tooth. Top.
In 62, it was thought that Mercury's day might have the same length as his year, so as to keep that same phase to the sun, much as the moon does to the earth.
Very good on the pacing and the rhythm, though. Very good.
But this account was shown to be false in 1965.
1965, not 1965, but 1965.
By Doppler radar observation.
Radar, not radar, but radar observations.
It is now known that Mercury rotates thrice in 2 of his years. Mercury is the only body in the solar system found to have an orbital rotational resonance with a ratio other than 1:1.
Okay, perfect. So let's practice this one. Now pay attention to my tone. I'm not just having an even tone, but I'm varying my tone. So here, until 1962, it was thought that Mercury's day might have the same length as its year, so as to keep that same phase to the sun, much as the moon does to the earth. But this account was shown to be false in 1965 by Doppler radar observations. It is now known that Mercury rotates thrice in 2 of its years. Mercury is the only body in the solar system found to have an orbital rotational resonance with a ratio other than 1:1. Alright, so I think we're good here. And you did one more lesson I want to take a look at. See which one it is here. Here it is, lesson number 10. So I'm going to do this one also. I'm going to give you feedback in this lesson as well. So I'm going to download the audio file right now. Here we go.
Number 1. The success of cold reading.
Got it. So let me find this article for just a minute. Go back to the beginning here. Hold on. Got it. Found it. So here you go.
Number 1. The success of cold reading lies in the sitter embellishing selected statements from the reading with details that...
Let's try this one. Embellishing. So that was a word stress issue. Embellishing selected statements
that make the generalizations appear more accurate than they are.
Okay.
2. Both children played the keyboard, but Wolfgang became a violin virtuoso as well.
There, the V sound is killing you right now. It's not a B, but violin virtuoso. Violin virtuoso there. Practice that a few times.
3. The sun has been fusing hydrogen into helium and hence providing us with its radiant energy for 4.5 billion years, and it is expected to continue to do so for another 3 to 4 billion years more.
There. But still that 2 To continue to do so, you're still having some trouble with that T, D. These are different sounds. To do. Is expected to continue to do so.
4. While the Romance family illustrates well the concept of a language family, it is also highly unusual in that the ancestral language, Latin, was a written language that has left us copious records.
Okay.
5. The location of the nostrils allows the platypus to breathe while the rest of the body remains under the water surface.
Be careful, not rest, but just the rest of the body remains under the water surface. Now let's do this one more time, and I want you to pay attention to, it's what's called the thought groups and the blending thing. So as we read sentence number 1, as I get to the end of each thought group, you'll notice my tone is not the same. It might be slightly a half pitch higher. Then when you get to the end of the sentence, that's when my tone drops. Okay, you ready? Number 1. The success of cold reading lies in the sitter embellishing selected statements from the reading with details that make the generalizations appear more accurate than they are. So you notice that? So at the end of each thought group, it's kind of like rise, 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 and when we get to the last idea, it drops. Number 2, both children played the keyboard, but Wolfgang became a violin virtuoso as well. Number 3, the sun has been fusing hydrogen into helium and hence providing us with its radiant energy for 4.5 billion years and is expected to continue to do so for another 3 to 4 billion years more. Number 4, while the Romance family illustrates well the concept of a language family, it is also highly unusual in that the ancestral language Latin was a written language that has left us copious records. 5. The location of the nostrils allows a platypus to breathe while the rest of the body remains under the water surface. There we go. So I think we have one more exercise for lesson number 10. Is the voice recording, and I'm going to listen to yours here in just a minute, so I'm going to download it. Okay, here we go.
The wealth of scientific data.
Okay, that word wealth, so if you watch my lips here, wealth, you have to round those lips there. Wealth. The wealth of scientific data
accumulated during these space flights, validate apparent similarities.
Say validate. Validate apparent
Between the effects of space flight and aging. Glenn will be a test subject for specific.
It will be a test subject. Test subject. Again, make that T with a little bit more air, aspirate more out of the vocal tract. A test subject.
Investigations which mimic the effect of aging, including loss of muscle mass and bone density, disrupted sleep patterns, a depressed immune system, and loss of balance.
There, you know you can do your intonation. You just did it right there. So you have to do more of that. So you know how to do your intonation with A, B, C, D items. So you said bone density, disrupted sleep patterns, a depressed immune system, and loss of balance, and then you dropped your tone a little bit there. So imagine that you have a sentence that has different thought groups. Each thought group can kind of be like an item, and you want to have the tone a little bit higher in each of those thought groups except the last one. That's when your tone drops a little bit. Okay, so let's try this one more time. The wealth of scientific data accumulated during these space flights validate apparent similarities between the effects of space flight and aging. Glenn will be a test subject for specific investigations which mimic the effect of aging, including loss of muscle mass and bone density, disrupted sleep patterns, a depressed immune system, and loss of balance. And there we go. So in this particular video, I gave you some feedback on the voice recording exercises for lesson number 9 and lesson number 10. You are ready to move on. So go ahead and go to the next lesson, and you can send me some more practice.